The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign. I'm so happy you are here. We are the magazine podcast and community guiding 5 million women to their sovereign selves. From heart-led conversations to magical meditations, our inspiring guests will show you how they can help you step into your sovereign self. Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and step into your power? Then keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you today. Hello! Today I have the absolute privilege of connecting with Valeriia Hearn, one of our amazing contributors. She is a Ukrainian-born Connect Me coach, holistic health practitioner, and transformational mentor. After healing from Lyme disease and burnout, she created the Connect Me method, an integrative path blending science, soul, and spirituality. As a certified theta healing and free Me EFT instructor, she also now guides women to awaken their courage within, align with their purpose, and live their truest life. Welcome, Valeriia.
Hello, Nicole. It's a pleasure to be here and finally connecting almost in real life.
Yes, I'm so delighted you are here today because we're going to be talking about courage and confidence, which is our February full moon issue. And in your article, When the World Said Impossible, I Chose the Voice Within, you share your most deepest personal story of how you reclaimed your life, your health, and your purpose despite being told that it was completely impossible. So for those who haven't had a chance to read your article yet, why don't you share a little bit about it and maybe perhaps why you wrote it?
Absolutely. I think the main intention behind me writing this article was to show others that even though a lot of times world medical authorities, our family members, our loved ones could put labels on us or say something is impossible, you are sick and no one could help you, or something is wrong with you, you're broken, you're incapable. If you know deep inside your heart that you're whole and you're complete and you are loved, it's all that matters. Because that inner voice within your heart will guide you and help you to break through all the obstacles, all the external voices, all the doubts and fears. Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable, right? It's like growing that little seed that grows through and has to break through the ground, right? It's at first it's very dark and everyone is pressuring you and you probably lack water and nourishment and light. And then finally you go through and now people are stepping all over you and trying to break you and tell you that no, you don't belong here, but you keep growing because you know that world needs you. And even though they might not see that just yet, it's still deep in your heart.
So why don't you tell a little bit about your story and how you came to this place of trusting your inner knowing and what exactly happened and what were you feeling in your body when you were seeking this medical help?
Yes, absolutely. So when I first immigrated to the United States, I was just barely 18 years old and newly immigrant, not truly knowing what is ahead of me. And I started getting extremely sick. We still don't know all the whys behind it. Perhaps it was stress related to the immigration process. Maybe it was my surgery that I just had before moving to US. But long story short, I ended up being extremely sick, and it took us almost 2 or 3 years to receive a medical diagnosis, which ended up being chronic Lyme's disease. And at that time, doctors would tell me that it's all in my head. that I'm completely normal, everything is fine, all my blood work seems normal. Like I was visiting ER, some people visit their best friend. I think I knew all ER departments like around my area at that point. And my pain was so bad that some days I couldn't brush my teeth, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat normally. So I was very miserable. And yet no one could help me. And I started to believe that what if I'm crazy? What if it's all in my head, right? But I was blessed to meet a surgeon who did a laparoscopic surgery for me to see maybe there is something hidden that we don't see. She didn't find anything, but she then guided me to do blood work and be tested for Lyme's disease. And then on one hand, I was happy because I finally had a diagnosis. But on the other hand, doctors claim that it's incurable and I will have to deal with that till the rest of my life. They cannot help me and they only could help me manage my symptoms, which, truth be told, was not the best case scenario being in your early 20s and facing such a horrible diagnosis and doctors telling you that there's nothing they can do about it, right? So first few years we took very conservative route with antibiotics and standard medical procedures, but it was only making me more sick, more miserable, and truly not touching any of my symptoms. Then I took a little bit of a pause and again just leaned on myself and decided to trust my heart, decided to trust my intuition, and my prayer was answered. I found a phenomenal doctor who practices natural medicine, and he guided me to this whole centered healing experience where you touch all of your layers, including your soul, including your relationships with the source, relationships with yourself. Because, in a nutshell, situations like that are given to us for the lessons, right? So we can learn and understand something deeper about ourselves, about how this place works, we call life, right? So that was my journey of healing from Lyme's disease. And of course, like I shared it very briefly, and it seems like it was very easy, but the main part was to keep searching and trusting and I think reconnecting back with myself because that was the main key for me.
I can completely identify with this. So, in my past life, I say, but it's really this life, I was a nurse and nurse manager, and I often was feeling sick. I was down to just being able to tolerate water and rice. And I'm not going to go into all the details because I want to stick with your story. However, I was told just eat more fruits and vegetables. And I'm like, you don't understand. I can't. It literally hurts so much. And doctor after doctor and ER visit after ER visit. I was just being gaslit. Long story short, I ended up having celiac disease and I finally had a diagnosis and I knew all along that I had something, but when they would just tell me there was nothing wrong with me, it just felt so demoralizing. I too felt like I was going crazy. And when we're talking about courage and confidence, it can really shatter that within you that you don't have this courage to speak up anymore because you're being looked at as maybe perhaps crazy. And then you don't have the confidence that you can trust your inner self, your intuition. And so, when was the first time in your health journey that you started to be able to listen to that inner voice that had been quieted?
It's a great question. As you were asking and sharing your story, I thought that it's so true because I had really bad physical pain as main symptom of my Lyme's disease, and every single doctor would tell me it can be this. Like you cannot have pain. You're normal. Everything is fine. And then not only you doubt your intuition and your inner voice, you doubt your physical body, right? Which is our instinctual voice, which is like the loudest voice in our system. So of course, when you detach from your physical body, you detach from your intuition, right? So I would say the first turning point for me was when I stopped listening to those doctors and I took a little break from seeing medical professionals that were making me feel that I'm crazy. And I said, okay, I will just spend week, months, years with myself. And I just want to reconnect with myself and see who am I and what is my truth, right?
Yeah, I can completely identify with that. It wasn't until I started trusting myself, my body, my intuition again, where I could start to create space for myself and hear that inner guidance again. Where, and it took a long time. It wasn't just overnight. I would say it was over about a 4-year period where when I felt something, I didn't doubt it anymore because I had been told for so long that I was literally full of shit. That's what they told me. And I kept saying, no, you don't understand. And luckily, it was the radiologist who saw my x ray and said, oh my gosh, she has something called mesenteric adenitis. And I've never seen this on x ray. I've only read it in a book. I think she has colon cancer. You need to get her into CGI the next day, right? So finally, the cancer word was given, and then everybody started taking me serious. Luckily, I did not have that. I just had celiac disease, and which is easily treatable with some diet changes. And I've been very healthy since then. But not everybody has that experience. And it took a healthcare professional to see outside the box. I guess apparently on x ray, it's very difficult to see this mesenteric adenitis. It's like a very rare thing. But it took somebody saying, oh my gosh, that's what I see, right? Looking at things differently, which is, I think, the experience that you had with your natural medicine doctor, looking at your symptoms as an individual case and not just a textbook. And that's what I always share is I'm so tired of everybody looking at things as a textbook. And so I feel as though what you're sharing with us is the permission to harness that courage and confidence within, to not keep playing part of that loop, that feedback loop that healthcare professionals give us of, that's not true. I know better than you do. I don't spend 24/7 with your body, but I know more about your body than you do. Wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And I don't think it's only about healthcare professionals. It could be our husbands, could be our parents, could be our siblings, right? A lot of people face that problem when our feelings just get dismissed easily. When we say, oh, I'm so tired, and they say, no, you can be tired. Like, you're just not doing enough, or you're not enough, you name it. So, why is it that we always seek external approvals to how we feel? It's such a great question. Like, why is it that I don't trust my feelings and I need external validation for how I feel or what I go through? And when another person tells me that it's not the case, I immediately throw it out of the window and betray myself, basically. Right. And that opens the doors to real betrayals in our world.
Because we're taught to portray ourselves. We're taught to look at quote unquote authority figures, whether that's our parents or healthcare professionals, as the end all be all. But that's actually not true. And I love that we're shifting more towards unconventional paths for our own healing, whatever that may be, whether that may be Reiki or meditation or naturopathic medicine. I love that we're taking different approaches now because there's been so much skepticism into our own internal knowing. And I think it really is fear-based. And once we do harness that courage and confidence to trust our own bodies, we are our own medicine. Our bodies naturally want to heal, which is, I think, what you started to experience, right? Didn't you start to experience that your body wanted to naturally heal itself?
Yes, absolutely. And it all starts with love, right? Whether it's self care, self love, when you start to choose better ways for yourself, right? Better relationships, whether it's with medical world or with your family members, whether it's you start to choose better supplements, better techniques, better food, you name it. So, because what is disease, right? It's just a lack of energy, lack of energetical alignment where, for some reason we vibrate at a lower frequency. And it sounds easy and complicated at the same time, but all it takes is to rise this vibration and start living from a place of fulfillment, health, alignment. Because I realized that my biggest problem was when I was looking to heal no matter what. And guess what I was focusing and attracting? I was attracting disease because I was so in a close contact with it, right? I was constantly paying attention to all my symptoms, to how miserable I am, how dismissed I am. And then that particular doctor, he reshaped my mindset where he taught me how to focus on health. And I remember I started was just focusing on my fingers because it was like one of the areas that didn't have any pain. And I would lay in bed, I was paralyzed, I couldn't move, but I was focusing on my fingertips and just feeling that expansion of health and vitality, right? And that little moment was so glorious to me because it truly brought that courage and confidence that, yes, it's possible for me. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I am my own medicine. Yes, I'm already whole inside, even though it's just a little part of my body. But if that part is capable, so is the rest of my body, right? I do have some symptoms that were, I think, triggered by the birth of my two beautiful babies. But it's definitely something I change and release. So I'm working on that right now. I know a lot of women have faced very similar symptoms after a childbirth, that it's a beautiful gift and I cannot complain. Because doctors also told me that it's impossible for me to have kids. So it was another impossible thing that I did alongside was getting better, starting to walk, to function normally. A lot of Lyme patients are familiar with that, like brain fog and inability to focus, to think clearly. So yeah, it's like you said, was in my past life.
It is time to rise. We are being called to stand behind independent voices, movements, and media that refuse to be owned. Sovereign Magazine has never spoken to an advertiser, a corporation, or a billionaire. We are a grassroots movement made for and funded by you. If you are ready to rise, to shatter ceilings, and to stand in your truth, do it with us. It's free. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share. Every click helps us reach more people around the globe, ready to remember who they are. Are you coming with us? Thank you so much for sharing about all of your experiences. And each time you've been able to say, that's not my story. I'm going to choose something different. And I think this is a beautiful place for us to move into steps to your sovereign self, where you're going to really help us find a new way to soften into our life in ways that feel good. And you're going to take us on a magical experience.
Thank you so much. So let's begin. Find a comfortable seated position. Rest your hands gently on your lap or over your heart. Close your eyes softly and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And one more time. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Start by noticing your breath. Let it flow naturally. steady and calm. With each inhale, feel yourself becoming more grounded in the present moment. And with each exhale, imagine releasing any tension or distractions. Silently affirm, I am present. I am open to my inner guidance. Feel your body softening, your mind quieting, and your awareness settling into the stillness. Now, bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. Imagine a soft, glowing light here, gentle and steady. This is a center of your intuition, a place of clarity and inner knowing. With each breath, feel this light growing brighter, radiating calm and focus throughout your mind. Silently invite your inner voice to speak. What do you need to hear today? What guidance will support me in this moment? Pause and listen. Your inner voice may speak in words, feelings, or images. Trust it, even if it's just a silence for now. Silently affirm, I trust my intuition. My inner voice is clear and wise. I am guided from within. Visualize your inner voice as a sturdy flame within your heart. A strong, beautiful flame that brings clarity, confidence, and courage. No matter the voice and all the noises around you. With every breath, feel this flame growing, illuminating your inner world with clarity and guidance. Silently repeat, I am connected to my inner voice. I trust myself and my decisions. My intuition is a source of wisdom and peace. Let yourself rest in this connection, knowing that your inner voice is always with you, guiding you toward your highest good. Take a deep breath in, feeling gratitude for this connection to your intuition. And as you exhale, silently thank yourself for creating this moment of stillness and trust. When you're ready, bring gentle movement back to your body. You can wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll your shoulders, or stretch if it feels good. Take one more breath in, and as you exhale, Open your eyes and notice how you feel. Grounded, clear, and deeply connected to your inner voice. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. I feel so grounded and clear. And, I love when our audience gets to experience things like this. And so, for anybody who wants to talk to Valeriia or learn more about her, she's in our community.sovereign-magazine.com. Don't worry, all of her details are in the show notes, so you're going to be able to connect with her at any time. And we are just so delighted that you have been able to be with us today, sharing your healing journey. As you know, it is quite complicated, but you have learned to navigate it in a way that feels good for you. And I hope it has inspired our listeners today. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. It was a pleasure being here with you in one space. And I hope that our listeners would benefit from today's podcast and the practice and all other contributors that you beautifully bring together. Thank you.
See you on the next one. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another soul-led entrepreneur here to help you step into your sovereign self. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details to connect with today's guest or join the movement are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million women to self-sovereignty.